Hey, if you're having relationship stress, then stay tuned because I'm going to talk about the differences between men and women and how we're not really equal, but how we should be appreciating that so that we can have better love lives. And hey, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years I've been the men's performance coach with African Fly, the liquid aphrodisiac. And as a coach, I'm always talking about the health side of men and the things that we need to do in our lives, but relationships can cause a lot of stress. And so we're going to talk about some of the basic things that you need to know. Specifically, how the differences in men and women have led to so much confusion, especially among our communication skills, and what we could do to fix that. And if you stay to the end, as a bonus coaching tip, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to get out of a relationship rut. You need to get out of that. So as always, if you like what you hear, go ahead, subscribe, hit the like bell, hit the notification bell so you can get more information. And now I'm going to go ahead and break this down till it cannot be broken anymore. All right, let me go ahead, before we start, let me run through Uncle B's relationship talking rules. And this is because a lot of people, they talk about relationships and we're gonna calm down. First of all, because I'm talking to guys from Sweden to Jamaica to India to Nigeria, all over the planet, and from ages 21 to 81, I'm talking in generalities. We're talking about the 80-20 rule, which is when I talk about men or women, I'm talking about 80% of them. 20% different. So I'm talking about the generalities. And whenever I talk about relationships, I do not do the man versus woman situation because that makes no sense at all. Seeing as I came from a woman, in order for me to make another woman, I need to use another woman. So we're all interconnected. We just communicate differently. One of the most important reasons why we don't get along in relationships nowadays is because we're taught, we go to school to learn how to get a job. We don't go to school for relationships, sex, or money, which are the three most important things in your life. And the reason why we have to talk about this because a bad relationship is like chronic stress. It's with you all the time and it just wears your body down. It messes with your thought processes also. On the flip side of that, a great relationship is constant joy. So that's what we're trying to get to. All right, so let's go ahead and run through a quick mind exercise so you can sort of position yourself to understand what I'm going to talk about next. And what I like to do is talk about what I call the first family. When I talk about the first family, this is, imagine just way back in the day, it's just a man and a woman. There's no society, there's no expectations, there's no rules. It's just a specific priority goal, which is to have another child successfully and raise that child so they can have another child successfully. And that's how we populated the planet. So let's break down the differences between men and women. Men are designed to provide and protect. And when I say that, that's because men in general are bigger, stronger, and faster than women. And that provide and protect goes into using that strength to, say, build a house, cutting down a tree, laying brick, whatever you need to do. And also defending that house, meaning killing somebody who shouldn't be in there. On the other side, women are designed to nurture and communicate. And so when we talk about women, smaller stature, a smaller frame. However, they can take 10 times more pain than men. So that whole thing of like a man would never be able to give birth, you are absolutely right. The Lord knew what he was doing. There'll be a whole bunch of men just committing suicide. I'm pregnant. No! Yeah. So women, of course, can give birth and give milk, which shows their ability to nurture. And also communications comes to women much easier. And I'm going to break down why that is in a second. Now, I want it to be very clear. Men and women are designed to do both. Obviously, because and the reason for that is something happens to the male, well, the woman still needs to provide and protect so he can raise the child. If something happens to the woman, then the man needs to be able to nurture, obviously not give milk or give birth, but should be able to nurture and communicate so there's a successful child coming out of this situation. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into more of the differences between men and women. Now, the first thing to understand is men and women are equivalent. We are not equal. However, we do have equal intelligence. The thing is that our bodies inform our intelligence. And let me just give you a quick story. So back in the day, it's me and my girlfriend at that time. We're going to an event and we're running late. And the instructions are in the back seat of the car. So I'm thinking, okay, got to get to the instructions. Let me pull over so I can get out of the car, get into the back seat, get it, and get back in the car, take off. She said, nope, we're running late. She took her 5'2", 120-pound frame. She crawled to the back seat of the car, got the information, and just crawled to the front seat of the car while I'm driving. Now, if that was me and she was driving, if I'm going to the back seat of the car, well, she's going to get a knee to the head. And I'm probably going to break the rearview mirror. And once I get into the back seat, I'm probably sitting there for like 10 minutes looking for it, not realizing I'm sitting on it. And then while I'm crawling back into the front seat, I knee her in the back of the forehead and then sit down. So there's a difference in how we think based on our physical makeup. So we have to appreciate the differences. And here's another story that gives you the reason why. So me and my cousin stand out from my parents' place. His son is coming down the sidewalk full speed and pow, hits the ground, scrape knee style. And of course, he's just crying. And me and my cousin, we just looked down at him like, what were you saying? Yeah. And he's still crying. Now, after a couple more 20 seconds of this, my cousin finally says to him, hey, I don't understand what you need while you're crying. So when you stop crying, let me know and we'll take care of it. Within 10 seconds, he stopped crying, got up and left. Now, if that was his daughter that came full speed, hit the ground and hit the ground, scraped up the knees, started crying, immediately, it's like somebody get the tussin. Oh my gosh, you got a scrape, get a medic, call a mama, something. Why is that a different reaction between a boy and a girl? Because it's actually necessary. It's something hit the fan and these two needed to take off running. The boy and the girl take off running. If both of them fall, I need for the son to get up, go help his sister, and so they can get out. So there's that difference in the way that we're trained and socialized because there's a difference in our makeup and the way that we're built. It's necessary to appreciate those differences. So one important thing to understand is that men's need to provide and protect requires a level of shutting down of communications. You know, if you're upstairs and, you know, you got your family upstairs and there's a bump in the night going downstairs, that's a terrifying thing. You're going down with your baseball bat. You're going down with a gun. Well, you don't know who's down there with a baseball bat or a gun or what's going to happen. It's a terrifying thing. Killing someone is a terrifying thing. So there's a process where it's like we can't empathize as much in certain situations. That slows down our need to communicate at a higher level. And I want to make this point very clear. Men are not simple. We keep hearing this. Men are simple. Men are not simple. All humans are complex. So to say someone is simple really messes up a relationship because you're now saying that this person doesn't understand something or is very limited. No, we just don't talk as much. Women communicate a lot. In fact, you have to sort of funnel it down, narrow it down to like exactly what is she talking about? Men are like a straight line. It's like golf. It's like football, 33, 34, hut. That's it. Women is like, well, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And then finally I'll get to my point. Nothing wrong with either one of those communication styles because they've worked through the years. However, you have to understand how you can work those two together so it's a better relationship. So in essence, the key to a good relationship, of course, is communications. So if you have bad communications, you're going to have a bad relationship, which means you're going to have bad sex. So let's go ahead and hop into the number one thing both men and women need. So the first rule of that first family is security. So you have to understand that men and women see security different in relationships because we see security different in real life. If I'm walking down the street, dark alley, whatever, people move to the side. They go to the other side of the street. If a woman's walking down the street, dark street or whatever, well, she has to be aware of everything that's going on in her surroundings. So there's a different thought process when it comes to security. I am security. She needs security. So that shows up in different ways. So when we're talking about a woman, what do women want? Attention. And it's a specific reason for that. When we say attention, we mean attend to. Why is that? Because women can be in the weakest state a human can be in while being healthy, which is pregnancy. So if you're pregnant, yes, you need that security around. So the whole process of getting attention is to make sure a man is paying attention to you and will keep paying attention to you to provide that security, a needed thing. Men on the opposite end require encouragement. Now, both men and women require encouragement and attention, but men require more encouragement. Let's break down that word. What's in the middle of encouragement? courage to go downstairs and kill off and do whatever you need to do, even to go provide, which means, I need to help build a skyscraper as my job. That takes courage. It takes courage to do manly things. Killing someone takes courage. So we have to get that encouragement from our woman. Now, for guys, here's the hint. Pay your woman attention. Just give her that attention. For us, it's sort of weird because we don't need to go around complimenting each other all the time. It's like, hey, yeah, you look cute. I said that once last week. You don't get it? You have to be steady in your doing that. That's showing that you're paying attention to her. That's giving her security. Women, if you want your man to feel better about him being secure and actually securing you, give him encouragement. Do not, and I repeat, do not abuse this in terms of like, I'm just going to give him encouragement when I want something. So ladies, just as a way to give the encouragement that a man needs, it's the same thing that soccer coaches and youth leagues are taught. Whenever you're talking to a kid, you give them 5 positive things and then 1 thing that you need to get fixed. So let's keep it in the soccer realm right quick. Kid is running around. He's not doing well during the game. You pull him to the side. It's like, hey, look, you're showing up on time to practices. You're enthusiastic. You're helping everybody else out. You're running. You're doing the things that you're supposed to do. However, in this game right now, you're not into it, man. Let's go. Let's get into it. You see how that feels? Other than the other opposite side of, why aren't you running? Run faster. What's wrong with you? Yeah. 5 times encouragement, 1 time. Men appreciate that. For the ladies, guys, just go ahead and give as much attention as possible. Compliment them at every turn. Once again, don't do this just to get to something. Do it on the regular. You build up that attention. You build up the security in a person. They will function correctly in your relationship. All right, let's go into that bonus tip, which is how to get out of a relationship rut, because those things can be horrible. All right, so of course, the first thing is do not get stuck in a relationship rut. Stress automatically puts you into a relationship rut, and actually de-stressing in a negative way can actually keep you in that rut. We're talking about drinking, smoking, eating the wrong things, or even just chasing after other women or other things that can just be negative that you think is relaxing you, but it's actually causing more problems. Having stress daily from like a job or something like that, and then seeing a person consistently stress, that person, stress, that person, stress, that person. Eventually, you may be thinking that this person is a cause of your stress, or you see this person and you just automatically get stressed. That's the reason why you have to break being in a rut. So here's a quick question. When was the last time sex was like amazing? It's just something that pops into your head like, oh, wow, I remember that. It was probably something different about that situation, different location. You did something different. Something was different about it. In a relationship, the most important thing you can do is create moments. Moments. Just like you can remember when you had that amazing sex, you want to have moments throughout your entire relationship. How do you do that? Well, one thing is to take vacations. I'm not talking about you have to be extravagant. You have to create more stress by having a vacation. I'm saying you two need to be by yourselves at some place that's different than your normal surroundings that you can just relax. Doesn't have to be expensive where it costs, you're more stressed about the money, just someplace where you're relaxed. One other thing you can do is pick something that supports them. And we're talking, let me just give you an example right quick. I heard of this, a couple that was married for years and years and years. What she would do is he had poker night. She would just come down. She would provide the snacks. She'd provide the drinks. She just put it into an environment where he enjoyed having his poker night. And ladies, just to let you know, if you're walking around helping out your guy and, you're not being distractive, you're not trying to take over the situation, you're just being supportive, the love is in the air. Because the idea here is to provide that support, not to distract, not to add more stress, and not to take over. The same thing applies to guys. Fellas, just something that this gentleman did, he would pick her up from church. She would go after work, she would go to church, and she'd just be involved with different activities. He would just go pick her up, make her feel secure that, hey, you come out, I'm here for you. And into the church activities, he was just being supportive of her. That's something that builds those moments, things that you remember later on in life. Now, these are what you could call relationship goals. One relationship goal to be careful about is having your children as a goal. It's like, oh yeah, we're just going to raise the kids and get them to college and blah, 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 because they're going to leave. And then you're going to be there just like, you're hiding, being pissed off at each other all these years. And now there's no hiding. All the kids are gone. So you want to have those moments for yourself. All right. So in conclusion, a bad relationship is like chronic stress. You do not want that in your life. The key to a great relationship is communications, and that communication dictates the level of stress that you are experiencing. Women require attention and men require encouragement. And of course, that bonus tip, make sure you're creating those relationship moments, time that you can remember. And this has been the fourth in our fourth series on stress. We've talked about how stress affects your life, the herbs and foods that you need for stress, and how to deal with stress. So make sure you check out all of those videos in this series. We're actually going to do some live videos on Thursdays at 9 p.m. just talking about what you can do to improve your stress life. It's going to be live, so you can ask me any questions that you have at that time. So the question of the day is, do you think that calling men simple is accurate or not? That's just a question I have. I'm personally, if you think that you're simple, that's on you. As always, go ahead and leave your comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so we can get some more of these videos to you. This is Uncle B saying, get your game up. Peace out.